Yeah, there we go. Oh god, I'm still on 7C.
Hey, Ken, what's your highest rank in any particular skill?
I think it's 5. 1 second to confirm. Yes, it is 5. I have 5 ranks in Iaijutsu, in Kenjutsu, in Commerce, and in Intimidation.
So I got 6 in Iijutsu, and then I have 4 in Kenjutsu and Battle, and 3 in Courtier and Etiquette and Meditation
I
and
also have
Athletics.
3 in Courtier, Etiquette, and Sincerity, and
So I
Battle.
feel like your skills are a lot higher than mine.
You
Thinking
probably know more
you've
about
played more sessions and you've gotten a free ring.
this is
So
true.
because I have 1 ring at 2, 3 at 3, and 1 at 4.
There's a good chance you also have more emphases than me, with the
Um,
exception with the exception of the fact that I bought an emphasis in Tetsubo with my 1 rank of heavy weapons just so I'd be
nice.
eligible for Hitabushi.
I
Uh,
I have bought 3 emphases.
my only 2 emphases are ones I started with. Because Yasuki start with deceit for sincerity and with appraisal for commerce. I do find it interesting how honest Yasuki has been for Yasuki.
On the manner of Ken having more XP, I was talking to somebody the other day and I was like, half the sessions of this campaign have been one shots with Ken. However, he hasn't gotten XP for all of them, so.
No, most of them I've gotten at least a tiny bit.
Yeah.
No. There's been a lot more of the Daidoji Shinosuke sessions than I initially remembered, as well as that one with the Kitsuki.
The one for the Kitsuki, you got, I think half XP for Mitsuhide and half for the dragon.
Yeah, I think that's correct. And that is the only time that Miyamoto Yanosuke has shown up at all.
We all definitely thought Yasuki would die.
To be fair, if I hadn't made that character, he definitely would have. That's just how it works.
It's the bulletproof vest of characters. All right, who would like to fill us in on last session?
I don't know. Ken, do you really think anything significant happened last session? Kind of like more of a bookkeeping thing than anything else.
All that really happened. Let's see, what important things happened.
Well,
I guess
like we met some NPCs.
yeah. I guess melting some NPCs might count.
I said meat, not melt.
Well,
Oh well.
that was also accomplished.
Well, I think
Traditional Yasuki diplomacy.
I think that Yasuki may have in fact melted a tiny bit himself from meeting certain NPC. Let's see. There was the whole fact that Mystery Sawa basically got nuked from orbit, and various people got sent back in time, or maybe not just time, but different reality itself. And some of us ended up God knows where, and some of us ended up captured by a tribe of proto-Rokugani that did not end up Rokugani. And some of us, namely one of us, ended up meeting Agasha herself, and somehow regaining an arm. Let's see. some of the NPCs, along with a PC, snuck off from the Obanjan people to meet Sepun. Sorry. Yasuki met up with Matsu and gave her a nice smack before proceeding to those Proto-Rokugani, who decided to attack the Sepun, but oh my, it's the Kami.
Turns out those guys are half decent fighters.
Yeah. And
I passed up an opportunity to sass Togashi. I'm pretty disappointed about it, actually.
to be fair, that could have gone a lot of ways. Some of them
Just the idea of staring down a Kami. I'm just like, I'm sorry, are you telling me that I'm the person who doesn't belong here? Just look up at the sky. What's that? I think your mother's calling you. Can you hear?
let me see. And we're basically now headed off to where the Eater Stars would be coming into existence, I suppose.
Shiro Kakita.
Yes.
Yes! All true. All true. Anything to add? Chris.
No, it was great. You guys should go listen to it. That's all.
Yeah, you freeloaders. Listen to... I love to meet the person that this was like their first episode.
That's a good point. If you're listening to this, that means you've already listened to the previous one.
Just warning you, I might have stacked your numbers. I linked this stream to the group that I am GMing stuff for. It's not even another session yet because timelines did not line up.
Righteous. I gotta pay you marketing fees now. That being said, if this is your first episode, good luck getting all the episodes in order. Because I do not do a good job making that easy.
Do you at least have like a playlist or something?
I have all the one-shots in a playlist.
Oh, well.
Question.
Yes.
So I don't really think there was much involved in the last session that might affect honor, but does Yasuki get honor for acknowledging a superior opponent when he said that he couldn't defeat Hida?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll give it to you.
Hey, how much is that? I don't
I don't know.
recall.
What's your honor?
Not very high.
3 to 4? Anywhere in the 1 to 4.
It is
Okay.
3 to 4.
Take 4 points of honor there for acknowledging that Hida is in fact better at fighting than you are.
Funny that I should think that. Let's see. Oh, I almost gained another honor rank. No, not quite. I'm at 7. 3.7 honor.
So, seeing that this session's never actually kicked off its feet, you guys do me a favor real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want you to brainstorm the scenario where Doji ends up taking over the Empire, and all I want you to do is think up an idea of how the Empire doesn't get completely destroyed by the Shadowlands during the First War. I just want you guys to sit on that thought and get back to me later.
Sorry, things went kind of robot for a moment. I missed about 90% of that after Doji taking over the Empire.
A boat.
Just
Canadian show.
brainstorm for me the idea of how, if Doji took over the Empire, how the Empire wouldn't get completely destroyed during the First War of the Shadowlands. Just sit
I
on
don't
that
see
for me.
anything happening.
That's even worse. Ken, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you now.
I can hear Chris just fine.
Can you not hear me? Hello?
I can hear you. I think Chris is the.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Yes.
hear you. It seems like Chris can't hear us.
I'm getting that feeling too.
Ah, so I just can't hear you. Or you're oddly quiet.
Reconnect.
Hey!
Hello?
There we are.
Yeah, we both answer you every single time, and then silence.
Well, I feel like this is getting us off to a fantastic start.
Yeah, this will probably be a good session too with
So,
that start.
Chris, I feel like I should know, vaguely speaking, where Shiro Kakita... Domo Arigato. Oh, there we are.
Okay, you
Oh,
cut out a
that's pretty
bunch.
close. I was
You
afraid
cut-
we're gonna have to go someplace like all the way down here.
You cut out a whole bunch, and then all I heard was "domo arigato," and it was very confusing.
All right, let's take a tally. Can both of you hear me?
I can hear you.
So Ken sounded like a super robot, and then it sounded like Chris was about to complain about that, and then I lost everything.
Oh my god, Chris.
Oh, God.
Chris, you are the snake in this garden, not us.
Okay.
I'm going to reconnect also just to, solve this because this is kind of ridiculous.
Okay.
How ridiculous was it?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Well, that's good. I was about to restart my router before he suggested I just hang up and reconnect.
Also, if this is your first episode of watching this show, don't worry, it's always like this.
It never gets better.
So you're not missing anything.
Hell, sometimes it's worse than this. Like, for instance, that time that I just ended up disappearing to try and fix my mic and then could not get back at all.
We had one of those. There's one time you fell asleep before you could reconnect.
Yep, there was one time that the power went out.
And then don't forget about the unicorn who had the scene.
Great.
Oh yes,
Great stuff.
that's a very different sort of issue though. That's less a technical problem that leads to things stopping to rage quit. That's two entirely different concepts.
This campaign has the disadvantage cursed by the realm of trickery.
I think it's more cursed by the realm of the internet.
Could be.
Cursed by the realm of anonymous.
Oh man, there's just one dude like, oh, those guys. Not today. Alrighty, I'm going. In my extreme vanity, I'm just gonna start the session.
Okay.
As if that will make things better.
Just going to make a quick double check whether Chris can hear us.
How are you planning on double checking that?
By that.
Chris, can you hear us?
Yes.
Alright.
Okay. Now that we know things are working correctly.
Roaring on all engines, all cylinders. Yusuke Mitsuhide,
Yes.
Matsu Hatsuo, Miyamoto Tint. You know what? Let's just final episode. Let's do this. Rolling across the splendorous hills that are the Crane Lands, we see a group of travelers heading towards their final destination of adventurers. The man leading the pack, legendary warrior Yusuke Mitsuhide, is walking forward. What's he look like? Just give us that description one last time.
Well, let's see. I have to think about this because now he looks different. He's decked out in the finest heavy armor in the entire Empire, arguably. Some might say Waterhammer's better.
Not at this point in the Empire.
Not true. This is far enough that the Kaiu are just beyond everything. Let's see. He's got his hair in a simple top knot, kind of a Fu Manchu mustache. There's faint marbling of slightly redder scars, not quite the sort of pitted, raised, horrific scars that he used to have, but more flat, snake-like burn scars. He's missing, of course, his left eye. His right eye is a piercing blue. And he's certainly standing a lot more tall and a lot less crippled with his left arm now properly functioning. Clearly a very heroic craft.
Very, very clearly. And trailing behind him is Miyamoto Tintin, the greatest character in L5R ever created.
Praise be her name.
Praise be her name, indeed. Yeah. Her whole left side is indeed covered with horrible burn scarring. She has a completely shaved head, which actually has hair on it now, because it's been a little bit since she's gotten to trim down on that. Other than her neck and face, pretty much every square inch of her is covered in tattoos. She doesn't have any armor on, but she has a long nodachi, and she managed to find her katana and wakizashi out there, so those are back as well.
Hooray!
And
No dishonor for her.
no dishonor. Standing behind her is the venerable Matsu Hatsuo.
Venerable? How old is he anyways? Isn't he like
17?
17?
Yep.
Okay. Yes. Matsu Hatsuo, wearing his blazing golden armor with his, and now that he lost his last helmet, he has this brilliant helmet with a big fake lion's mane coming out the back and a lion-shaped mempo on the front.
He's not going to wear his grandfather's golden mempo?
No, he doesn't have his grandfather's golden mempo. He gambled that away like a dishonorable fool.
Didn't we get all that stuff back when the guy who won it all ended up deciding to rush the throne room?
No.
Did we?
No.
Oh yeah, I think it melted. That's what it was.
It vanished.
Right, Yasuki's the one who got his.
Only your Kaiu blade was able to withstand the fury of the fortune of thunder.
Only the great power of bureaucracy was able to save Mitsuhide's from vanishing.
Yes. Oh, that's glorious. I love that he says that again.
Send your thanks to the local Otomo.
It is so good. So good being a courtier who is actually a Bushi now.
Unlike some of his companions, he is yet to acquire any horrific scars, and both of his eyes are present and a boring shade of brown.
Yep. And standing behind him is the God, I was trying to think of another overly flowery word. The cantankerous Doji Hinata, whose hair is half white and half black, like a true anime character, and goes down in a tight braid down her back, as my friend texts me, telling me we can't do stuff that we weren't going to do.
Speaking of phones, have you unplugged one this time?
Oh, I certainly did.
I figured I'd ask, since that has been that character has made a frequent appearance in our sessions.
This is true. Today, I actually remembered to do it. Doji Nanta, dual-colored hair, beautiful kimono, always looks 100% on fleek. And standing beside her, chatting away from the group, is her maid, who is a hinin, and thus, why bother describing her? And then there's a final member of this group, as I recall. The ancestor of the most interesting Shugensha school in L5R, Agasha, is also tailing along with you guys.
Because we asked and she said, okay.
Because you asked and she didn't have anything better to do. This is... She owes
She's got
her
a
duty
couple
to
of years
no one.
before she needs to meet anyone.
That's right. But one day... Never mind. That was a joke so obscure that even I didn't bother saying it. And I only make obscure
Wow.
jokes.
I didn't know there was such a joke.
Oh, there is in this case. But yeah, she's tagging along. She is talking to you guys about the elements and her theory on everything. You guys are like, yeah, whatever. Go join the
I don't
Dragon
know.
Clan, nerd.
Right? She knows so much at the same time. So much of what she knows is like, yeah, I've known that since I was 3. So I'm gonna constantly just like throw in little like, well, haven't you thought about it this way? Just all the time. That's what I'm doing. Grew up in Phoenix lands. We're super philosophical. I'm just gonna drop as much like ancient knowledge on her as I can.
She's like, damn. That's deep. You should like, oh my god. You should come out into the wild with me one day and just observe nature, you know?
When I was a less busy man, that was one of my favorite things to do. Have you ever seen the Asawa forests?
I have. I've been all around the land. Though I prefer the mountains, much less chance of running into somebody.
That's fair.
No offense to you somebodies.
I certainly will not take offense. You running into you was certainly an extremely fortunate event.
I'm glad.
As he starts pumping his arm up and down,
So
and out again.
we have been a bit busy with all sorts of things. Sensei, could you explain to me the existence of all of your arms there?
Why, I owe that to our companion here. She has done the impossible.
Why, thank you. I assure you it was quite easy. And while we're asking questions, may I pose a question?
Of course, Shigasha-sama.
Alrighty, those beings that we saw fall to the earth the other day, which I'm totally a follow up on, by the way. Mitsuhide-san from like the same place that they came from?
That is, I would be far and remiss to claim any sort of heritage that is nearly so illustrious.
And she nods her head and strokes her chin. She goes, I see. Because I noticed when looking at them, she looks over at Matsu. All things are made up of the 5 elements. Naturally. However, those beings, they had a 6th element that was making them up. And it glowed. When I looked at them, I could see it within them, glowing like gold, as I could see all the other elements that make up people. And when I look at Mitsuhide-san, he too has a 6th element within him. Only it doesn't glow gold. It's inky and something I've never seen before.
Huh. Have you ever traveled far to the south?
Oh no, I would never go there. The great Nezumi Empire enslaves all who goes within their territory.
But beyond them, there's a troll empire.
Once, maybe, perhaps. I've never been that south.
Mitsuhide-san, you are a great philosopher of the southern realms. What sort of spiritual influence would have some sort of inky blackness in comparison to the golden light of Tengoku?
I know not precisely what you imply. Nonetheless, I have been frequently checked by the Kuni.
Are these Kuni? Can the Kuni see the elements just as I can? I've never met anybody else who shares my ability.
I do the Japanese version of a shrug and look at Mitsuhide again.
I would not say as such. The Kuni the Kuni's expertise comes in something darker. Mind you, some among them do bear the Shugenji's gift.
Ah. Interesting. Very well. Then maybe you just have something that makes you special. Like me.
I'm trying to think of a really ridiculous metaphor for describing the spirit realms and their relationship to each other, so I could teach it to her so that it could become standard Rokugani doctrine. Well, if you think of existence as a pastry, the gooey center of the pastry.
No, that's sweets. Sweets are childish.
As is existence.
Oh, this metaphor has many layers.
Much like a pastry.
Are we talking puff pastry then?
More of a pâte-à-choux.
Mitsuhide wouldn't know that. He has no ranks in artisan cook. Craft cook, sorry.
I guess it all just depends on what you're making it for.
Besides, and he'd pull the jade he always wears around his neck out. This would burn me, would it not? He tucks it back away.
Now I have to think if they had jade back then or not.
There may not have been any jade until just now, when Amaterasu starts crying and
giant chunks of jade fall from the sky. You know, that's really goofy part that they forget to mention About the fall
Wasn't
of
it?
Kami. I think it's when Ototangu ate all the children. Is when she started crying.
Wasn't
Okay,
wasn't
which, for all we know, is 1,000 years ago.
it crystal that was hardened in the sky and jade that hardened on the earth and obsidian where both the blood of Onotangu and the tears of Amaterasu hit in the same spot?
Well, that
No.
sounds like something I could believe. Sure, why not?
Okay, here it is. The obsidian is the blood of Onotangu, so I guess that would have just formed very recently. Crystal is the tears of Amaterasu, and that's why it can hurt the nothing, because it's the only thing that hasn't been influenced by it. And jade is where they both fell, I believe.
Huh.
Because the crystal like purified the obsidian. I believe. I'm not sure, but
Sure, why not?
2/3 of that's
Makes
right.
sense.
I'm not sure about the
I
jade.
knew there was something about one of them being both together.
That is, of
It's
course,
not-
Dr. Pepper, the fourth element. As I open up my bottle of water and sip it sadly.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, as we're walking, I'm like, no. There's all these different spirit realms. I explain all the 12 spirit realms.
All right, let's hear it. All 12. Name them off.
Okay. So here, in the realm of mortals, this is Ningando. The beings that you witnessed yesterday, the great Kami, children of the sun and the moon, they came from Tengoku, the celestial heavens. Then the other realms, which, depending upon where your interest lies, is either more or less important than those. There's the realm of animals, Chikashudo, where that one lies close to Ningando, meaning that it is sometimes easy for things to come back and forth. You've heard maybe legends of Kitsune fox spirits?
Yep, I've talked to a few, actually.
So they're native to the realm of animals, and in deep forest, it becomes easy for people to pop back and forth between the two. There is the Gakido, which is the realm of the hungry dead, where all sorts of malignant spirits, Gaki, lie, and they can occasionally come to this realm, but are mostly condemned to their own world because of some terrible sin that they committed in this one. There is Jigoku, the realm of evil, and that's where all taint comes from, something that I'm sure that you'll become far more expert at in the years to come, unfortunately.
Oh, what's this taint?
Well, have you ever heard of Oni, monstrous creatures?
I'm gonna say yes.
I'm gonna say yes. Okay. So they have a spiritual connection to this realm of evil, and it exudes through them, and can poison people, food, and the land around them.
What do you mean poison?
Ooh, it is a physical and metaphysical corruption. It can twist the soul and the mind and the body. Something tainted by Jigoku, they might gain an unhealthy appearance. They might start growing extra limbs or scales or extra eyeballs. Any sort of unnatural thing could certainly be a physical manifestation of that. But the metaphysical manifestation of that would be the corruption of their soul until they become more and more selfish until they become relentlessly evil or mindless machines of destruction, death, and taint as they then spread the corruption that they elsewhere.
She eyes Mitsuhide out the corner of her eye. Interesting. And you guys go on for a little bit as you are, traveling across this Edenic plain. Just making your way across the land, and eventually, as per your request,
Yes!
eventually upon a hill under a banyan tree, there is a middle-aged bald man just kind of sitting there meditating. He has a staff that's plugged into the ground. On top of it, there's a raven, chilling out, sitting there.
Decapitate.
Do it. Do it. Save me.
You'd be happy not to have to do this scene. You know what I would have done if I were you, Chris? I would have assigned me to come up with something inexplicably wise to share with Ken, and assign Ken something to come up with something inexplicably wise to share with me, and then you wouldn't have to do any of the heavy lifting.
You're right. What if I just ruin your life and he just starts quoting Ayn Rand or something? The dude in the blue tile room was right.
I think Yasuki would eat that up.
Oh,
I mean,
love
you've got
that.
5 ranks of commerce after all.
You have nothing to lose but your chains.
Hello, I am Shinichi. Good to meet you.
All right. Wise old man, staff, top of a hill.
Yep. Roll your lore philosophers. I don't know. Lore anything you want to find out if this is Shinsei or not.
Theology sounds like an appropriate fit.
Could do. Which theology? All theologies?
Rokugani theology.
Oh. Okay.
Shintao.
Oh, I did quite well for an untrained lore roll.
Hey! Yeah, you both recognize this as someone who fits the description of a person who could be, Shinsei. Miyamoto Tenten is already gone.
As in, sprinting up there. And I chase her.
She's gotten progressively less of a samurai as the days go by.
I blame Meaning Togashi. I mean, he's the most unconventional.
That's true.
And, I mean, we aren't even in a place with the social norms yet.
I'm just finding all these Ikoma doing highly questionable things.
The
Is he
Akoma-
looting a body? That he shot in the face?
Could be. Could be getting ready to put it in the bag. Who knows?
Oh, yeah, maybe he's just taking a head. That's not suspicious.
I love that's... Oh, he's just decapitating him and putting his head in a bag. Okay. For a minute, we thought he was doing something immoral.
I just want to point out the fact that at this point, Yasuki Mitsuhide does in fact have one of those head bags that he specifically has reserved for Shosuro G-men.
Yes, yes.
I have one of those head bags that has Tenten's head in it.
Oh, yeah.
I probably got rid of that a while ago.
Yeah, I forgot to make it explode like antimatter the second you re-entered reality. So we'll just do that now.
Boom!
Alright, now we're back in the future where Rokugan's 8 different city-states all warring with each other because Shinsei never showed them the way. Oh well,
That's
that's a
fine.
shame. And, once again, back to our session.
Sorry. I say to our 2 listeners, who obviously have so much patience that my apologies mean nothing.
Hey, what do you know? At one point, there was 3. God damn, we're good.
2 of them's to me. I'm running a virtual machine right now.
Damn you. Okay, well, here we are. Miramoto Tintin's running her way up that hill to see if he has any knowledge to share.
I'm just picturing him grabbing a bunch of caltrops, scattering them in front of her, and then, like, dashing behind the tree.
No, he doesn't do that. I always get a Shinsei and Taozu or whatever confused.
Sun Tao.
Sun Tao. Not confused, but for some reason I always think that Shinsei goes off and founds the Yodotai Empire.
Huh. Does Sun Tao do that?
Yeah, he does.
Suppose there's huge allusions to it.
Huh. I've just never cared enough about Gaijin to know.
However, Shinsei does go off and he teaches the Simpet Empire how to write. And then he goes off to, what is it, Medadite Al Salam and teaches them how to build roads and infrastructure. And then he
Sounds like a
dies in
pretty
the
chill
Ivory
guy.
Empire. He goes around a lot. Sorry?
I said he sounds like a pretty chill guy.
God, who knows?
You do, because you're about to have him speak.
Yeah, he's gonna speak. And, Tintin gets up there, talks to him for a second. He whispers something into her ear. Her head explodes, reforms, and then she goes, and starts heading back down. You guys will never believe who that is.
Is that Master Shinsei?
That is.
Feel like you oversold your statement of us not believing you.
Okay,
Yes.
I should rephrase that. Yasuki, you'll never believe who that is.
Shinsei.
Damn it. Alright, what do you want to know? I was quick to assume things about you guys, I'm sorry.
What did
I
he say to you?
I have learned 2 lessons today.
You should have learned long ago not to underestimate Yasuki Mitsuhide.
This is true, you are a formidable opponent.
It's surprising you and I have not dueled yet.
He looks over to Matsu. Yeah, okay. Let's do that after we kill the Eater Stars.
No one can defeat her.
She says, "Oh, I would not. Ooh, it was so wise. I couldn't repeat it. I couldn't do it justice. But let me tell you, it was a doozy."
I approach him.
And
Teacher Sama, I say, bowing deeply. What brings you here?
oh, I came to rest under the shade of this tree.
So wise.
Damn. What brought you here?
Togashi, the Kami Togashi, came and spoke to us and told us that we must head to where a castle will be built. I point off in the distance towards where Shirokakura will one day be built.
He nods. He's right. Yeah. Yes, I heard the kami would soon be falling, and once I saw them falling from the sky, I began to head over here. I was going to talk to them today, but once again I saw this lovely shade and I thought, who am I to deny that shade a purpose?
I am sure that they will treasure your wisdom. It is perhaps selfish of me, but is there any wisdom that you would have to impart to me before I go to complete my quest?
And he, still keeping his eyes closed, he says, I will provide you with what some might call wisdom if you dote some upon me. How's that for a trade?
I would be honored.
Your friend Tintin over there told me that a bowl is most useful when it's empty. Much wisdom in this.
I was tempted to tell him, like, I don't know, the story of the frog and the scorpion, but that seems silly since he obviously knows that story.
In a past life, I was that scorpion.
And also the frog.
Also the frog.
Gosh, I'm trying to think what is known and what isn't known at this point. Should I come up with something? Should I come up with something completely original? Should I just repeat something that becomes known later?
Just spit some knowledge, man. Always wait half an hour before swimming after you eat. Don't microwave styrofoam.
There are 3 sins: fear, desire, and regret. Those sins combined form nothing, which should be feared more than anything else.
And he nods his head in a sagely manner. The best part is I don't think that noise picks up whenever I record this, so every time I do that, I think the people on YouTube don't know what's up.
But yeah.
Okay.
All right. Does he have some dope wisdom for me?
Yes. Yes, of course, as he nods and he takes in what you said and he goes, wisdom. And he says, turns you towards your group of people down on the hill. And he says, you see that man who's obviously your leader and the most impressive of you all?
Yes, Sensei.
He says, he thinks he has true strength. However, what he has is nothing, because mastering others is strength, but mastering yourself is true power.
Thank you, Sensei.
The surest way to corrupt youth is to instruct them to hold in higher esteem those who think alike than those who think differently.
Very interesting, Plato.
Oh, it's Nietzsche.
Oh, I missed one? All right.
Let's see, what's Kant have to say?
Why are you looking up all these Western philosophers?
Science is organized life, wisdom is organized life. Because let's be real, Eastern philosophy doesn't know what it's talking about. Just kidding, I like Eastern philosophy. My favorite
Have you
philosopher...
ever read the Tao of Pooh?
Oh, get out of here. My favorite philosopher is a student of Eastern philosophy. Anyway.
Wait, why do you say get out of here? Seriously, have you read the Tao of Pooh? It's brilliant.
I have listened to the audiobook of the Tao of Pooh.
Oh, there we go.
Written by a janitor. Anyway. Yes, and with your knowledge dispersed, he asks you if there's anything else that you wish to ask, I'm at the point in my life where my time isn't so precious.
Gosh, he asked me to spend more of his time on me. Have you heard of the Eater of Stars?
Dun 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 dun! As he looks off dramatically. I mean, that's an interesting question for Chris as a GM.
What does the wisest person in the setting know about the thing that we've been fighting this whole time?
Well, he's may or may not have been taught by the Kinku, and the Kinku know about the Eater of Stars. Because they helped make the Eater of Stars. So, yeah, I'll give this to Shinsei. Ah, yes, I do. A mighty warning against hubris and reaching beyond your means. And many lessons told over and over again, but tragically one which truly had to happen for an entire race to learn their lesson.
Which race was that?
The Kinku. And the trolls. And the Kitsu. And
The 5.
the mermaids. And those lizard people.
Huh. Well, Togashi sent us to stop him. Because he's trying to destroy all of reality now.
All of reality now, or all of reality in the future?
I'm not sure if it's appropriate to put those distinctions or not. All of reality at all times in all times? Across all times?
Interesting. I didn't expect to hear that answer.
We were told we had to face him down where Shiro Kakeda would be built. But beyond that, I'm not quite sure how to destroy him. How was he made?
Oh, well. The Great Five Races, when they were formed, they bound all the elements together in one thing, and they used that to make the City of the Night. And then they've created such perfect harmony within the 5 elements and within their spirit domain. They sought a way to do it across all realms and across all possible realms. So they created the Eaters, what would become the Eater of Stars to help them travel to other realms and other realities. However, this was at a time where the kami were much more tumultuous, and so when they formed this being out of the 5 elements, it developed a sentience of its own and ate its creators and ripped apart their city and supposedly escaped into another reality. So I am not at all surprised that it would be back here.
So it was made by the combination of elements.
Yes, but somehow they made a living being which could have traversed the void itself.
Agasha, does this make any sense to you?
Of course, there are many things which are made with all 5 elements.
How would one unmake such a thing?
I could do it.
You could unmake him?
Of course.
That sounds incredibly helpful.
I try to be helpful when I can to strangers.
I immediately drop to one knee. I swear myself to your service. I will protect you until the Eater of Stars is unmade.
Oh. Oh my, I don't know about this. Very well, if you offer your services, I will humbly accept, not having the heart to reject you.
Thank you, my lady.
And as it often is, that which you are seeking is most often right beside you. Now.
Stuff it, old man. Wait, no, sorry.
You are not the first to tell me this. And with that, you guys head on down.
Yasuki would briefly go to visit him for wisdom.
Ah, the most impressive one of all, please. Take a sit under this shade.
Very well, Roshi-sama.
And what is it that you wish to know? Or what is it that you ask of me?
I am not the most knowledgeable man, and I cannot deign to know what it is I should be taught.
And he nods his head sagely. He goes, ah, such, it is a great virtue to be humble. And to have an accurate, for humility, as many think, is not thinking yourself less of other people, but true humility is having an accurate self-concept. So even if you should think yourself a great warrior and impressive man, as long as you realize that these are true and that your knowledge is lacking, then you are humble. As for what you should know, he strokes his chin in a gesture which seems almost universal to everybody you've ever met when they're thinking.
Clearly a tradition started by Shinsei.
Truly. I don't know, Agasha was doing it earlier, and they've never met.
Okay.
It must predate even him. I was like, I should give the actual bit of advice from the Buddha that I know, but that'd be way too heavy-handed and not even fit. You did this to me, Chris.
So sorry. Oh, you know what?
What?
Maybe Shinsei should start him on the path of man.
Oh,
I,
He could be an old school Asako.
oh, that'd be interesting.
Like back when they were tricking as opposed to like playing games with the kami.
Yeah. God, I completely forgot that's gonna be like a huge element in my Shinjo's Empire thingamajig.
There you go. Henshin, what do you think? Ken?
Yeah.
I don't even remember much about that particular school other than that they're monks.
I think the best part is that
the
the
actual
level 1
abilities-
thing teaches you Earth.
Yeah, I don't know what the actual abilities are, but the philosophy is that you're becoming immortal. And I guess they break that out into 5 levels. Yeah.
Basically, going along the path of man is like how you can become a fortune without the emperor telling you that you're a fortune. Fun stuff. Well, let's see. What should you know? That is a mighty question to ask upon a man who does not even know you. You yourself should know where you are lacking the most. However, you seem to be most in tune with the element of earth. You are strong, and from your scars I can tell that you are resilient. And from waiting here for my advice, you seem to be very patient. And there is nothing wrong with that at all. The earth is a fine element to to attune with, and I can see that you have a great path ahead of you. So my advice to you is to do the difficult things while they are easy, and to do the great things while they are small. A journey of 1,000 miles begins under your feet. And with that, I close my lousy quotes and move on with my life.
So sorry.
Respectful bow and walk back down the hill.
Did you mutter under your breath? That jackass didn't know anything.
Who am I to give advice to 2 adult men, you know? You know?
Well, I mean, they are really only, well, I guess at this point, Isuki technically is an adult even by Western standards. He is 18 now.
That's right. He can go on an adult website, and then he can tell the truth.
He can drink in Alberta.
Hey! Shout out to Alberta. Anyway, moving on. Everybody quickly runs away from the wise man. Doji Hinata not even having the patience for it.
But her maid got some wisdom that she'll never repeat again, but will ultimately change the direction of her life.
That's right. The maid went up and she said, "What's it like to be enlightened?" And he looked at his student and he said, when a tadpole sees a frog and asks, "What's the land like?" how is the frog to explain to the tadpole? As the tadpole has never seen the land and therefore doesn't know how to describe it. Ooh. Now I'm gonna close my Buddha quotes and move on. As the land is so unlike the water, how can comparisons be drawn? Anyway. And with that, we're going to head over to the location of Shiro Kikita. You guys want for another day or so. And then eventually, that's when you come upon it. There is a tussle going about as we speak. There are a few tents settled around an open plain where one day a glorious crane castle will sit. But in the moment, only these few tints. You see 3 large men, a woman, then you see an elderly-looking man circling around a circle formed in stones, and he is currently squaring up with a young lady wearing a mask which looks like a geisha's face. And they're about to throw down. What do you do, players, in this RPG?
Who do you think they are? It's just some famous scene that we're watching again that slips my memory. I look over at 1010 and Ken's character.
I'll make an untrained heraldry roll to try and recognize them.
Okay.
No. Unless they are like the most famous person in the world, I did not have any idea.
Let's see. Well, with that, you can recognize the Hida brothers. You can recognize Toyuya. And you can recognize...
You were describing our companions.
This is true.
All right. Fair enough.
The ones missing from the group currently.
Toyuya is about to throw down with Gamamichi?
No, the girl is currently circling around a square with... She has a mask on her face, making it unlikely it's Toyuya. And this dude looks about 90, which makes it unlikely that's Gamamichi.
Okay, good.
Oh, I know who this is.
Who wears the masks back now?
So what's your approach, fellas?
Well,
Do you think you're gonna walk up to Gamamichi and be like, "What's going on here?"
He turns around to you, and Gamamichi he's currently sporting a black eye.
Ooh.
He
Did you try something you shouldn't have there, Gamamichi?
I certainly did.
I won't ask the details. I just wonder what's happening here.
Oh, well. The old man's teaching Toyuya. Not Toyuya. Thanks a lot, whoever said Toyuya in the first place. The old man here is teaching Uria how to wrestle. And she just won't stay down. Which is emphasized by her charging in at him, and he flips her over his shoulder very easily, using her weight against her.
Don't I know her persistence? The number of times she has ambushed me in a similar way is... Well, I think I can count it on both hands now that... And he's going to emphasize by lifting his other hand and wiggling his fingers. Both hands now.
He nods and he goes, You sure seem to get ambushed a lot, don't you?
It does seem to be a frequent occurrence.
So I walk up to my wife. I'm so glad I found you. I wasn't sure if you'd be here at all.
Atsuo! And she comes over to you and hugs you. She smells like sake. She smells like alcohol. It's so good to see you.
Keeping vigilant for any threats in the area to Lady Agasha. We just came from Sepoon Hill.
Oh, we've been here. We've been here the entire time.
Oh, we watched the kami fall.
Oh, cool. We've been drinking.
I can smell that.
A man with a bird told us to stay here.
Man with a bird?
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you choose to listen to this man with the bird?
I'll remember. Somebody said it was a good idea.
Gamamichi?
Uh,
Did
uh,
you see this man with a bird?
I did.
And who was he?
I have a strong feeling that it was, what's his face? Shinsei.
Oh, we met him. Did he have a bird?
Yep.
Raven.
Oh, fair enough. I didn't recall you describing a bird.
Already.
But then again, I'm not very observant, as we've discovered over and over again.
Remind me, the Raven's name is Sakura.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys know about 10 times more about L5R in general than I do.
Don't worry, you know how to play the card game.
That's true. Also, I've heard of the clan wars and know a few things that happened then.
That's more than I can say. I only know about the good parts of L5R. Just kidding, I know a lot of bad stuff too.
Well, I think your waiting has been fruitful, as we need to head to Shirakakita, which I guess is. Are we standing on the high ground that obviously is going to become the castle?
Yeah.
Probably around here, as I look at my feet.
Probably around there, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Probably after the scene, you'll, enjoy that.
Who's the old man there?
Oh, he says his name. Oh my gosh, he says his name's Lycoma. He raises his eyebrow at you.
Huh.
As Uriha once again hits the dirt. I'll be honest with you, I think the old man just likes groping at her as she goes over him.
You wouldn't be speaking poorly of one of the great founders of my clan, would you?
He scratches his chin. And then doesn't say anything.
I watch a bit of the bout. Does it look like he's absolutely correct?
Okay, he's not like putting her in a headlock and groping her or anything. It just looks like they're. And it looks like Toya's like running at somebody who's just like.
Toyuya?
Not Toya. See, you've done this to me. You've cursed me. Uriha just looks like she's very unskillfully attacking somebody who's just like having fun with her and tossing them over their shoulders and tripping them and such.
Sensei, when they're done, are you planning on showing a coma a thing or two?
I do doubt that I can best the man. I have heard of his prowess. And the Lion always were one of the few clans that have similar military might with craft. You should be proud that you joined such a clan.
Especially since your original clan went crazy and started killing everybody.
I think I can honestly say that has never happened.
There we go. And you guys have seen Uriah at work once or twice, and so the fact that this guy's making mincemeat of her is quite flattering to himself. But after a length of time, their bout comes to an end, and Uriah comes limping away from everything. And she sees you guys and waves at you. Yasuki, come here. Meet Master Ikoma.
I have heard your name before, Akoma-san.
Oh, all good things, I hope. And
That would depend if you ask.
just as you get up close to him, this guy is like the ugliest person you've ever seen in your entire life. His face has like scars upon scars. He's very old. He's 92. But yeah. Still
He's
seems...
92 already?
Yep.
Yes. Coma was old when the Tommy fell.
He died in the year 82. He lived to be ridiculously old.
He clearly pickled himself with all that sake.
That is true.
I assume we're all looking at the same page.
Does it mention that on his Wikipedia page?
Well, he clearly looks pickled. Ancient. I don't know where that picture comes from.
That basically confused me.
Dawn of the Empire. Of course it is. Alright.
Oh god, that's horrifying.
Okay.
That's almost what I imagined Yasuki looked like when he was at peak burn mode.
I, like, for my first year playing L5R, I saw that picture and I was like, man, who's this, like, evil dude? But I never, like, looked up on it. Then one day I looked up Ikoma and I was like, no, it's him! It's my favorite. I love Ikoma.
Alright, let me stop stealing your scene. Go ahead, Ken. Be awesome.
I don't remember where I was now.
Scene successfully stolen.
Then I shoulder my way in. Are you the great Akoma?
Haha, you have heard my stories then.
I am Matsuo, the Golden Lion. Is it true that you once broke the spine of a troll with your bare hands?
It's completely true. Everybody gather around. He gathers everybody around the great circle. He goes, Toyuya, go into my tent, get everybody some drinks. I have a story to tell. And she goes, hi, and goes stumbling off towards her, towards the tent, comes back with a sack full of sake bottles. Alright, let me just calculate this roll for him real quick. Got it. Oh my gosh, I have to close this one window because it is slowing my entire computer down.
He was at least 50 years old when he joined the Lion. That, I imagine, is true if he was 90 at the time.
If he's 92. I swear to God, I read that he was 92. Alright, so he rolls a...
Which is at least 50 years old.
This is true. He rolls a 59 on his storytelling, so...
He's untrained?
Oh, you're right. I messed that up. Let's see.
And has no emphases?
No. All of that goes into giving him 10. He has 7. You know what, Chris? Get out of here. He actually does have... You're right, he does have emphases. Oh, well. He rolls a very, very impressive number. Everybody's very cool.
So for he declared no raises, so it's merely adequate.
You're right. I'm a fool. Why do I bother? Goodbye, everybody. This will be our last episode. Thank God.
I love you, Chris.
Me too.
He starts the story off. He was traveling into a village and, he met a very beautiful young lady. And just as the two of them were about to enjoy each other's company, a mighty troll came in, destroyed 3 villages, and picked up the damsel and ran off with her. And Icoma could not let that stand. And though he had no weapon because he is an ardent pacifist, he was just ready to save that girl's life. So he heads out into the wild. And, after many days, finally finds the troll's tracks and heads into the cave where the troll was living. And, he blinds the troll and gets invited into his, oh wait, that's not it. He goes into the troll's cave and goes, "Hey, what's up? I wanna hang out with you." And he sounds, "That's cool, what's your name?" And he goes, "Oh, my name's No One." And he's like, "Oh, okay, No One, please come inside." And so he sees the girl there in the back of the cave and he's like, "Alright, I've got this." So he picks up dirt and he throws it in the troll's eyes. He runs after the girl. And, he runs out with her and steals the girl away. And the troll comes out screaming for the other trolls to help. And they're like, "What's the matter? Who's hurt you? Who's stolen your girl?" And he's like, "Oh, no one's hurt me." And they all go, "Oh, okay." And they all go away. Because Icoma's so crafty. And then the troll runs after him. And Icoma breaks his back. And he brings back the girl. And he gets infinite blowjobs. And that's how the story ends. And then finally, after 10 years, he returns to his home and finds his wife has been faithful and hasn't given in to any of the suitors. And then he splits an arrow on an axe. It's been a while since I've read the Odyssey.
I believe there was 10 axe heads, which he shot an arrow through all 10.
Oh, is that it? Okay, that sounds good. There's 10 Onos, and he shot an arrow through all of them.
That is an outstanding story.
That is a completely adequate story.
Right. Sorry, forgot. No raises.
I expected more from you, Icoma. I mean, it was all right.
He told a very adequate story with no effort whatsoever.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I like the part where he willingly stays with Calypso for 7 years before returning to his wife. God, I hate Odysseus. He's the worst.
Yeah, the Iliad is so much better.
I liked Homer's earlier works.
Yeah. Before he got real popular.
Yeah, before he went all Hollywood on us.
Akoma-sama, what, other than giving free wrestling lessons, what are you doing here?
He goes, "Oh, I've really just been enjoying the company these young people have bestowed upon me."
We are here to slay a great monster. Would you have any interest in coming with us as we do so?
Oh, that depends. Tell me the story of this great monster.
Well, you see, and then I want to repeat the story that Shinsei told me, and then throw in all the rest of the details with the great forest and the armies of Tentens and Hatsuos and so. Do you want me to tell the whole story, or should I make a storytelling roll?
Make a storytelling roll.
What does storytelling actually use?
Awareness.
No, but like, what's the skill? Because I don't think there's a storytelling skill anymore in this edition.
Artisan.
It's perform, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's perform. You're right. You right.
All right. I have 0 ranks in perform. This may not be my best story. Why is
Don't worry.
perform feed off of agility? That sounds weird.
I don't think it is. If you recall, it varies for the specific performance. Most of the perform skills, however, are musical instruments and thus go off of agility. But
All right.
storytelling is off of awareness, if I remember right.
Well, I'm going to double void this because I'd like to tell a good story, and I'm going to declare 2 raises. That's awkward. My double void points got me an extra 3 as opposed to 1 void point uncapping both of those 10s.
That's very funny.
I feel a little dumb.
Well, you know, your TN was at 56, so you didn't tell a better story than Icoma.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to outdo him, just trying to tell an adequate story with 2 raises.
Oh well, in that humble case, yeah, he's like, oh yeah, interesting. Well, that certainly sounds like a monster. He looks over at Mitsuhide as he recognizes a fellow braggart. He says, "Well, I don't know. I've been out of the game for a while, but whew, that sounds like a monster I'm willing to come out of retirement for."
I certainly would appreciate someone who has great exploits, such as fighting an entire army and not losing a single man, or
Oh.
Boghag almost single-handedly, or slaying a Mahotsukai. Or becoming the sensei of a dojo when one is not even a year out of Genpuku.
I don't think you're talking
But-
about me anymore, are you?
But, Mitsuhide, have you ever defended a sake house from 30 bandits without spilling your sake cup? One-handed. To point to Icoma.
Well, my recent exploits could be said to be similar.
And Tintin leans into you guys and she says, "You know, I hear he defeated the galloping hordes." And she nods and says, "That's like 100 bad guys with swords."
Oh, God.
The Galloping Hordes? I don't think I've ever heard that story. Who are they, I say?
Prince Icoma, fabulous he. He says, "Besides, I can see that these astonishing young ladies are in need of my help, and I cannot turn down a request from the fair sex. So yes, whatever this mission is that you, 10, are currently going on, I shall be a part of it." And he stands up and he walks over to Lady Doji Hinata. And he takes a knee. He says, "However, I'll request only one thing, is that at the end of this adventure, you might show me your favor and give me your thanks, my lovely lady." And he grabs the hand of Doji Hinata's maid and kisses it. And she goes and faints. And with that, everybody goes, "Well, that sounds like a plan." And with the party reunited, everything sort of begins to fade in and out as a flying saucer heads over you.
Mitsuhide-san, what was the advice that Shinsei shared with you, if I can ask?
Now is not the time, sir.
Oh.
As there seems to be a castle of sorts forming around you. Everybody, make an athletics roll.
With what attribute?
Agility.
Okay, I do a bit better then. I have 4 agility, but only 3 strength.
Woo! Well, hello, Ken.
Ah,
I
Mitsuhide, I
did.
forgot that you were rolling.
50 TN is succeeded.
I'm just like glad that we got that roll out of the way, so when we do the fight today, Ken won't one-shot the bad guy.
Yeah. Ken got rid of all of his crappy 50s, and now he's going to be nothing but 200s.
I've been waiting for like the triple digit roll.
If it happens,
happened
it's
yet.
going to be Mr. Kiwisuhide.
I don't think I've seen a single die higher than 30-ish.
To be fair, there is literally a 1 in 1,000 chance of that happening.
I'm aware, but we've also rolled a lot of dice, and every time you roll a few dice, you roll them like 6 or 7 at a time.
That's true. I know Kenvik came very close during that one shot when he rolled like an 87 to intimidate that lion.
Yeah, that was absolutely hilarious. I intimidated an Emerald Magistrate, and I wasn't as good as intimidation then as I am now.
But around you, a castle seems to be building upon itself as perhaps time is, speeding up, or perhaps you guys are. This is just a weird transition that the studio put in for Hollywood purposes. But stones are being laid, and wooden doors and frames are being erected as you guys are like maneuvering your way through the entire thing. As stones are flying through the air and landing perfectly in the spot where they should be.
2 things. One is our a contemporaneous friends fading out of existence or anything like that?
They are!
Well, that is just really unfortunate. And then 2, as the castle is assembling itself around me, I just look around and I watch as the things assemble. And if I happen to notice some beautiful, amazing, priceless Kakita vase, I just knock it off.
All right, you petty man. If this was the... Go ahead.
Shosuro family artifact around here for me to knock over.
Tragically not in the Kakita estate. But eventually you all find yourselves in the broom closet together. All 11 of you just squeezed in there real good.
Huh. Well, I was really hoping Agasha would just do this for us.
Yeah, Agasha's easy mode.
Togashi's right. We will simply get this done. So how do we unmake it? What do you think, 1010? You were closest to the void dragon. Know more about unmaking than anyone else.
Well, let's find the commander of this castle. Let's sort the situation out there. She slides open the broom closet, and all 10 of you spill out. There's a lone Kakita Bushi goes, "Oh, are you the elemental champions?"
We are.
No, we were told to be on the lookout for you. I didn't expect you to be in the broom closet.
You are an excellent servant to your master for having found us. Will you take us to the head of the castle?
Yes, of course. And he escorts you guys to the top of this lovely castle, which tragically it's not as well decorated as it usually is. They took all the good stuff and sent it further south, just in case anything bad happens to this castle. What a blatant lack of show of lack of faith in the commander of this castle, huh? Anyway.
Yeah.
Ah, good. This castle looks much more fit for military service without all that frivolous junk.
Ah, good to see they're shaping things up around here. Good. And eventually, you guys are led into one of the very tall parts of Shiro Kakita. There's the war room that's set up inside like one of the towers, and you can kind of oversee the battlefield and everything. Presently, as up here is none other than Shiba Tsukimi and the Shogun, the Moto fellow whose name I can't remember right now. Jinkai, something like that.
Mother, what brings you here?
I'm leading the resistance against Shiba Kira, of course.
From Kakita lands?
Yes, where have you been? We all thought you guys were dead. It's been
We have
months.
Oh, it's a long story. Is there anything more pressing than that?
Oh, let me change you over to the proper map. Boop. Wait.
Oh, that looks bad.
That's a-
All right. Did you? Akoto. His efforts to stop Akira from taking over Toshi Rambo tragically failed.
What of the Emperor?
The Empress, as per her instructions, was taken into the Crane Lands, where we were ordered to fortify, or they were ordered to fortify everything. If you recall, my son was very snarky about it, but here we are currently. The Empress currently resides within this castle. She wishes to oversee things, but the battlefield is drawing quite near, and we are thinking about relocating her to Shiro Daidoji. However, the Crane fortifications have been quite extensive, and they have been holding off Akira's army for quite a long time. However, they are fighting with unnatural strength.
The Eater of Stars.
Indeed, it seemed that you guys were able to keep him from being summoned into this world. However, his influence is still being felt, and seems to have corrupted the minds of my soldiers, of my clansmen. As presently, Shiba Akira is leading them to destroy the Empress, and seems single-minded in this pursuit.
Then what is needed? Do we need to kill Akira? Is there the Elemental Council that is powering his plans, and they need to be stopped?
Yes, indeed, the Elemental Council, we believe, is the source of all this strange otherworldly corruption that's affecting the Phoenix armies. We believe that if we can destroy them, we'll be able to curtail the madness that swept over our clan.
Madness, you said. Oh, wait, this is... Sorry, this is Sheba, not Kikita.
The Twilight Mountains of Madness, even.
Yes.
We still have several helms left. As I look at, as in fact, everyone still has a helm other than myself. Perhaps one of us should summon a dragon to end the Elemental Council.
Baby.
I'm sorry, who says that?
Nobody.
I'm apprehensive about how many resources we leave for ourselves when we ultimately fight the Eater of Stars, but if we can't destroy the infestation in the Phoenix lands, then it doesn't seem like there would be much point.
What of the Black Pillars?
They still stand all throughout the Empire.
Where is the nearest one to here?
Let me just check my map.
It's just behind you.
Yeah, if I was a good GM. Let's see, looks like 3 miles away.
On Sapoon Hill.
Yeah, that one's actually a little bit further than the other one.
Do you suppose that these pillars' continued existence aids their channeling in any way?
We certainly do, however, we haven't been able to destroy them. Nor have we had the resources.
They are pillars of earth, I say as I look over at Yasuki Matsuhide.
Hidegama Michi.
Of course.
Water beats earth. Sorry, go on.
I have need of a horse.
Sure. Well, the Imperial Legions are here, so anything you want is currently available. Get this man on a horse. They get you a... Hey, what happened to those Imperial Stallions you were given? Anyway.
Like the fire dragon may have done away with them.
Oh, God.
And Gamamichi says, "Get me on a whore."
Anything militarily you need.
Oh.
I believe what I said still stands.
I shall end these pillars and take away some of their strength.
Very good. And they hand you those horses, and they send you on your way. As you travel for 3 miles, and there by the roadside, you cross over to Lion Lands, coincidentally. And there, sitting on the road, nearby a shrine, jets up a pillar the color of obsidian, but not quite as glassy.
And Yusuke sits down and starts to meditate.
Haven't seen that in a while.
He actually does have a rank of meditation. He just doesn't do it very often.
Shout out to the Topaz Championship. It's the last time I saw
Woo!
it. Such a long time ago.
No, he wasn't there.
He did meditate a couple of times in prison with that puzzle box he asked for.
That's true.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about all your puzzle box rolls.
Yeah.
Which he got the Topaz Championship, just to remind everybody. Alright, yeah, you meditate, you get in sync with all that is Earth and the being which himself is Earth. As your mind is transported celestially into Tengoku. And there you see the infinite being of stone, the Earth Dragon himself.
Most honorable and high dragon of earth, I beseech you. Ningendo is in crisis. The very empire itself stands upon the edge. The foul being that seeks to corrupt the very fabric of existence itself has created these unnatural pillars throughout the empire. I feel they are an affront to the earth around them, and hope that you would agree and remove them from existence.
And
Or turn them to purest jade.
ooh. And he considers your request for about 100 years. And eventually says, "Are you willing to trade your helmet for such a request?"
Such an artifact, great as it is, cannot be held on to for the selfish reasons of my own personal power. The Empire itself is a threat.
Very, very well. He says, and you're back in Ninkendo at that point, and there in the sky above you, it's all filled up with the infinite length of this Earth Dragon as it fills the sky and the entire universe. And it puts one claw down on the tip of the pillar and kind of pushes it down into the earth. And though you cannot see it, all across the empire, these pillars start to lower themselves into the earth. And in other places throughout the empire, pillars of jade start to rise out. Not in the exact same location, but in a similar enough and a very close by proximity. So in Zakotoshi, the statue to the fortune of Geisha sinks back into the earth as the influence of the realm of slaughter is lifted by the absence of that pillar. Everybody starts to realize that there might have been some weird stuff going on in that village. Where the Topaz Championship is held, the pillar sinks back into the earth and animal spirits run back into their proper realm.
Foxes stop knowing what limes are.
That's right. In the 100 Stances Dojo, the pillar sinks back into the earth and bats, not that we know what they are, fly back into the realm of waiting as the people there are taken away from its influence. In the land of Nikesake and Toshi Rambo and a few other cities, the towers, which Isawa Izanami, which nobody was very interested in researching into, but all these towers sink back into the earth, and Toshi Rambo and Nikesake are no longer connected to Tengoku and sink back into the earth. And with that, jade pillars start popping up all over Rokugan as Kin's wish is fulfilled. As the Earth Dragon takes his helmet back from you.
I thank you for saving Rokugan.
And 200 years pass, and we're in Rokugan in the future, and there's a young Yusuke child, picking up his katana for the first time, and he hears the katana in the voice of the Earth Dragon go, "You're welcome." Though Yusuke never gets the "you're welcome," his ancestors one day do.
Descendant.
And for all we know, that descendant will be Yusuke.
Yeah. Oh, damn. Reincarnation, right.
Unless you really think he's going to the realm of blessed ancestors after this.
I mean, is there a chance that he's not going to become a fortune?
Good point.
And, after this wish is made, you're feeling real good about yourself. You're like, God, I am the best samurai in Rokugan. And around this time, you hear a voice resonating throughout your head. And it's the voice of a young female. She says, why is she surprised when she's the one that contacts you? Yusuke, welcome back to the land of the mortals. How was your trip?
It certainly has made me whole again.
Excellent, excellent. Well, your faithful friends have a invested desire to see that you and your friends accomplish your goals. So, we would kindly like to donate an effort, or a small donation to your war effort.
And what might that be?
Return to Shiro Kikita and see.
And Yusuke mounts his horse and heads back.
And just remember the continual gifts of your faithful friends of mankind. And whoop, it turned off. And waiting for you at Shiro Kikita is a band of 1,000 Ronin, all carrying various sort of weapons and such, and they're currently talking to a crane commander who, when they see you approach, he waves you over. He says, "Do you know any of these men? They all arrived here a few hours ago," and I guess not a few hours ago. 3 miles isn't that long for a horse. They all arrived here, and they refuse to take orders from anyone but the legendary Yusuke Mitsuhide.
I know not who these men are, but I suspect that an ally of mine has sent them. I know not who this ally is, but they did mention aid was coming.
Now, I will, there's a tall, bald man who does approach. He has some nice armor for a Ronin. His name is Sao Sao, if you can remember what character this is from this campaign. I will give you a void point.
Is he not the one that we first were going to figure out what the hell he was doing way, way, way back in the Twilight Mountains themselves?
All right.
And also, we met him in Zakyutoshi the first time we were in Zakyutoshi.
Yes, that is correct. He was not the leader of the Ronin army, but he was his second in command. He was like the assassin dude. So yeah, go ahead and give yourself a void point.
Oh, thank you. Cao Cao. It's been a very long time.
Indeed, but we heard that you were in trouble, and the Ronin army felt like this might be the end of days. So how could we possibly refuse the chance to battle under the command of a man who has become a legendary commander?
You have fought alongside me once before. I would very much welcome fighting alongside you again.
Excellent. Then my men are at your command. He gives you a salute. And
my second.
Excellent. And Mr. Shiba, Mr. Matsu.
Yes.
Is there anybody you want to talk to, anything you want to do before we go into phase 2 of this session? Yes, who is it?
Very much so.
What is it? Tell me.
So, Mitsuhide-sama, what was it that Shinsei said to you? No, I'm kidding. I want to see if there are any Agasha or Tomori Shigenja who are present and, not part of the invading army.
Of course there are.
So, the most learned, connected, or powerful one of them would be someone that I'd seek out.
All right, let me find this a-hole's name. Okay, it's Asako Akiko. He is a water Shugenja. He has obligation to Shiba Tsukimi. There we go.
I'm going to step away a quick second.
He's Asako?
Okidokin.
That's trained in the Agasha style? Is that what we're saying?
No, he's an Agasha.
He's an Agasha.
I misspoke.
Perfect. Thank you. Just making sure. Silly Phoenix families. They're ridiculous. And his name?
Akiko.
Akiko, I could use your assistance.
Sure, anything for the son of Shiba Tsukimi, as long as your duties do not take me too far away from her side. I will see what I can do to help.
So, my mother asked us where we had been, and I brushed that aside, suspecting that there might be something more pressing. But now is the time for me to tell that story. When we destroyed Izaname, the fire dragon destroyed Izaname, we were consumed by the earth and fell through time, landing quite near Sepun Hill on the day the kami fell. When we were there, I met Agasha. I told her of our quest to destroy the Eater of Stars, and we learned how the Eater of Stars was built by the 5 ancient races from the 5 elements in their hubris.
Continue. Hello.
How long have I been talking to myself?
The 5 ancient races.
5 ancient races. And we're built from the 5 elements in their hubris, and I asked Lady Agasha how something like that, the Eater of Stars, might be unmade, and she said quite confidently, "Oh, I can do." But sadly, she didn't actually follow us back here. But she strikes me as the sort of person who might have written this thing down, knowing that time would come when it was necessary. Any wisdom on this?
Oh, if you wish to know secrets about, secrets about Lady Agasha's journal, you're gonna have to ask the Tamori family, as those imposters quite jealously hoard her possessions, thinking it gives them a better claim on their legitimacy.
I see. Is there a Tremori around here you might be able to introduce me to?
Why would I associate with those warmongers?
Well, for starters, you are cousins.
Ugh. Pusha.
Wait, what did he say to me?
Pusha.
Are you, I'm sorry, it's just so funny to hear a Phoenix complain about someone else being warmongers. I'm sorry, do you not see what's happening?
Do you not see that big black ink spot?
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't associate with those types. Maybe there's somebody floating around the castle who can help you out.
Well, thank you for your wisdom.
Maybe the GM didn't know what you were going to ask before you asked it.
And I bow. All right. So, looking around for someone with dragon mons. Need to find somebody who can point me to who's up and what's what.
Of course. Tenten's talking to Tamori right now.
Tenten-san.
Hi.
I find myself in the need of the services of your clan.
Oh,
Is
anything
there,
we can do to help? Don't hesitate to
I'm
ask.
looking for the services of a learned Tamori Shugenja.
Oh, well, looky here.
I am Matsu Hatsuo. Bow to the Shugenja that no one's going to name, I assume, because we don't care.
I am, Tamorishi.
Has Tenten told you of our recent travels?
Yes, you mentioned Shinsei. Very exciting. Did he tell you anything?
Did who tell me anything?
Shinsei.
Oh, yes. He told me how the Eater of Stars was made. The 5 ancient races, in their hubris to control the world, built the Eater of Stars as a servant from the 5 elements. But the Eater of Stars was self-aware and destroyed them and fled from them. When I asked Agasha how such a being might be unmade, she simply looked at me and said, "Oh, yeah, I can do that." But as you may have noticed, Agasha did not come with us for this fight. And I was wondering, did she maybe write something about the Eater of Stars, explaining how she planned on unmaking it?
Oh, you must be searching for the Agasha Sentinels. They're an ancient race that dates back to the very founding of the Dragon Clan. They say to have much research on the Shadowlands taint, and also they safeguard the ancestor of Agasha, her Not the ancestor, but those who Agasha favors with her wisdom. And probably looking for those guys.
How would I get in contact with them?
Oh, well, strangely enough, just 3 days ago, two of these mysterious orders arrived with a young girl. Oh my god, never mind. With a young boy. And, they really didn't tell anybody their purpose, but they've been hanging around the area since, just waiting for something, but they won't tell anybody. Perhaps this is it.
I hope it is. Can you take me to them?
Oh, of course. I, Tamori Shi, integral character to this plot, will take you on your way. So she escorts you to the gorgeous Kikita Shiro Gardens, where there are two robed and hooded Tamori that have the Dragon Clan Mon on the back of their robes, and they're talking to a young child who looks suspiciously familiar. And you think, I've seen that young child before somewhere. And then...
Does she look like a Gasha?
It's a boy.
Okay.
And then an elderly young woman is what I was about to say. An elderly old woman comes over to the boy, and when you see the two of them together, you go, right, Miyamoto Bo.
Throw my wakizashi and impale him in the neck. Traditional greeting. Oh shit, that's not a boken.
No. He sees you and runs over at you and goes, Hatsuo.
Miyamoto. I look at him. Bo? I say with a question.
Hi, I have my Genpaku is next year. Can't wait to duel you this year at the 100 Stances Dojo, though. You'll find that my prowess have increased immensely. I'm gonna be sensei before I even become an adult.
I look over at Shi, and I look over at the Tamori Shugenja, waiting for an introduction.
These are the Tamori Sentinels. Long have they guarded those who Agasha blesses with her wisdom from Tengoku, and Miyamoto Bo is the latest in a long line of people who she has taught the secrets of the elements to, from beyond the grave, like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Have you ever seen Star Wars? It's a lot like that.
No.
It's a kabuki play.
Is that a no play?
Yeah, we'll see it sometime.
Kabuki. Okay. So, Miyamoto Bo, you've been blessed with guidance from Agasha. This is perhaps the good news which I seek. Agasha had promised me that she would help me undo the Eater of Stars. I promised that I would protect her until this was done. She did not follow me here, but maybe she did. Do you know how such a being could be unmade?
And he says, "Give me something. Give me something to hold."
Did you say give me something to hold?
Yeah.
I'm back. Sorry for the delay. It got to over 30 Celsius today, so I was dying of thirst all of a sudden.
All right, so I give him... What do I have on my person? I hand him my Tonto.
And the Tonto is now air. And he looks at you and goes, yeah?
This seems much like her mastery. You think you can unmake the Eater of Stars? That which the 5 races assembled from the 5 elements?
And he shrugs and he goes, that's what these two seem to think. At the Sentinels. They
Is that
nod.
right? As I said... Then... I must swear myself to your service. I will protect you. This is done. And I take a knee.
And he
Hold out my katana in front of me.
takes his index finger and goes across his nose. He says, I'll make sure you're a worthy servant. And with your
Thank you,
help,
my lord.
we just might save the world.
I rise. Stand behind him in the Yojimbo position.
Rise,
Well, my
Sir
lord.
Hatsuo.
I'm assuming he doesn't actually say that.
No. However, for our next
Okay.
campaign, let's just do the Great Pendragon Crusade. Anyway, think about it.
Well, my lord, we should probably go join the rest in the castle as we plan the defense and our attack on the Eater of Stars.
Sounds good. And with that, that's going to be part 1 of today's session. Everybody gets 20 XP if this does not get you to Insight Rank 5. I don't know what to tell you. The last half will be us combating the forces of evil and hopefully winning.
Wow. I need to ask you, Chris, what to do about the fact I haven't taken Insight Rank 4 technique.
Everybody's here. There's, a contingent from just every clan. You can learn whatever you want. Just get it done, Ken.
If I wanted to switch into the Hida school, would I be able to take the advantage to do that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So
How much do rings cost again? I feel like I'm counting this wrong.
sorry, repeat that.
How much do rings cost? I feel like I'm counting this wrong.
It's 4 times. Wait, it's the attribute times 4 times 2 to buy a ring outright.
Okay,
So if
there
you're
we go.
taking,
I was timesing 6, but that's for void.
yeah, that's for void. So I guess I have a Yasuki Core Tier 3 Hidabushi 1.
Yay.
I should find out what my new technique is. I don't even remember what Hidabushi has because anytime I've looked at making a actual crab bushi, I've looked at the Hirama.
Okay, let me see if I can do this. You don't get anything but sneaking. You don't get the penalty for heavy armor, and you get 0k1 to damage. Wait, 1k0 to damage.
Oh God, that's going to make Yasuki so much more effective.
All right, I'm going to end the recording real quick. We're gonna reconvene in 5 minutes.